Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again for the final time in 2020 to the What's Going Down podcast. That's right, this is the last week of 2020, so get everything that you want to do in 2020 done this week, or you'll be left out in the cold. I, of course, am your host, Big Time Jimmy Larson, and of course, my co host, Mr. 2021. The luck is on his side. CT Bishop.
What's going down, everybody? How you are doing today? Yeah, 2021. What's going on?
Gave you a wonderful segue there. Went nowhere with
No,
it.
man. You know, as you know, with everything that I've been going through this week, and I'm just totally off my game today.
I've been
So
playing games all for the last 2 days. Actually, been playing some games of Hangman
okay.
and having some fun with that. And speaking of Hangman,
Mm-hmm.
today I don't watch AEW. I know we didn't talk about that. We were going to say this. I'm just throwing this
No,
in there. This
no, go
came to
with it.
me.
Yeah, go with it.
I don't watch AEW.
Mm-hmm.
But last night we got in a case of the AEW Series 2 figures, which apparently are brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And I see these guys, some of them, of course, I know, like John Moxley, who comes with the AEW title.
Mm-hmm.
MJF, of course, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix from an independent company, Northeast Wrestling. I remember them there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think their figures would probably sell just based on the fact that people see Ray with a mask and think it's Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
That's my honest opinion there. But who is Hangman Adam Page, and why is he dressed like Justin Hawk Bradshaw? That was
uh,
my thought when I saw that figure.
yeah, Hangman Adam Page, man. Oh, and we're still hearing music or something. I don't know. No, Hangman Adam Page. He's I don't know. He's one of the top, the newest top stars for AEW. And the first time I've heard of Hangman Adam Page was actually in AEW. I didn't really because there's not much indie action happening. So I don't know. I don't know. To be honest with you, other than AEW, I never heard of him before. I never heard of him before. 'Cause, like I said, I haven't been to an indie show in a long time, and the first time I saw Hangman Adam Page was in AEW. So I really don't know much about the guy. To be honest with you, man.
And yeah, the other one in the set was Dustin Rhodes.
Of course, the natural.
And of course, yeah, we all know Dustin Rhodes. He's got some half face paint going on in there.
That's his thing. When ever since he first showed up at AEW, he had this whole half face
It
paint
looks like
thing.
Kane's face paint.
Yeah, and then of course
It looks like Kane's mask, but in face paint form.
yeah, it's like King's mask and face paint form. But his gear is like the like a really dark red gold dust type, like the way it would be if it was gold dust.
Yeah, it looks very weird. No, I got a little angry with these though. First of all, these are $20 a piece,
Mm.
which right off the bat, the
Mm-hmm.
first thing I notice about wrestling figures these days, and figures in general,
Mm-hmm.
because we have some Ghostbusters figures that literally are $28 a piece.
Yeah.
And I realize, when did action figures go from being kids' play toys to just being collector's items?
I I don't know. To be honest with you,
Because I don't think parents are spending this kind of money on children's toys to play with.
no. I know I
So
wouldn't.
kids can't have action figures anymore.
No, exactly. It's just it's really sad that
Like, they've re-released the Ghostbusters figures from the 80s now, the real
Uh huh.
Ghostbusters. Um, these are $16 a piece.
Oh my word.
When we were kids, they were $5.
Yeah.
I know there's inflation and all, but come on. and they're not even the original, so they're not going to be worth as much as the original versions were. These are reprints.
Exactly. Exactly.
Can you imagine when baseball cards were a popular thing and they had the reprints of the cards?
Mm-hmm.
If the reprint was worth more money than the original,
It wouldn't make any sense.
because that's what's going on now. Though the reprints cost more than the originals.
Again, that
But yeah,
makes no
these
sense.
AEW figures, they're $20 a piece. So I planned on getting the MJF,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going to get the John Moxley, and I was going to get the Dustin Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that the store was not even open? I walked back over there, and all of those figures I put out were gone.
Oh my! What?
The store wasn't even open yet.
And
All 6 of them were taken off the shelf and gone.
how much you want to bet?
So I have two theories on this.
Uh-huh.
One, another employee knew what I knew, that these could go for a lot of money on eBay, and they bought them all.
Yeah.
Or we have these people who walk around the store all night called pickers.
Yep.
And what they're doing is they are picking stuff that was bought on the website.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to promote it here, but they pick what was purchased on the website, and they do it for online shoppers.
Yeah.
People can come to the store and pick up the item, but they pay for it online.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that somebody went online and purchased all these, and then the pickers came by and took them all.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't believe it.
I do have another theory that is possible.
And what would that be?
Okay, when I used to work at Toys R Us, okay, and now since there's no more Toys R Us, right? When I used to work at Toys R Us, there were many employees that when it came to certain figures, certain toys, certain whatever, that especially if there was a limited supply, what they would do is that they would take it from the shelf, right, and they would like hide it somewhere, so when the store was open, they could buy it.
Well, again, that's what I should have did with the ones that I wanted, but
Mhm.
I didn't expect that. All 6 of these were gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the heck? What happened? The store's not even quite open yet. So nobody's in the store except employees.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the breaks of what happened there.
So the pickers, so if it is the pickers, right? If it is the pickers, they work overnight as well.
They work all around the clock, yeah,
Oh,
because the website's open 24 hours for people.
Yeah. Okay.
And I hate the pickers because we'll be zoning the store.
Yep.
And pulling everything forward, and these people come in and take something, and they don't even bother to pull the next one forward to help us out.
Yeah.
And then our supervisors walk by, and they see gaps, and they yell at us, thinking that we left it that way.
Yeah. No. See, there needs to be some kind of cooperation. There needs to be some kind of.
Oh,
cooperation.
it's a pain in the neck, but
Oh yeah.
But we're not here to talk about that. we will talk about some of the things in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to start with the wrestling scene.
Yep.
Because 2020 started off promising for pro wrestling.
Yeah.
The Royal Rumble, I just talked to somebody about this the other day who absolutely hated the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Particularly what they did with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
But personally, I thought that was amazing.
Oh, I agree.
See, the thing, I love the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
It's my favorite match of the year. It's my favorite event of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I look forward to every year.
Yep.
And for many years, recently,
Mm-hmm.
the show has been horrible.
Yeah.
And the matches have been horrible.
Oh, I agree.
And I've been saying, I need something that's going to spark something different.
Mm-hmm.
And this year was something different. We've never had a person start the match that dominated the entire match. We've had dominating people.
Yeah.
Beginning in 1994 when Diesel did it for about 4 people.
Yep.
And then it was over.
Yep.
It was quick. And of course we had the thing with the Nexus starting the Rumble in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran the Rumble for a while as a group, as an entity.
Mm-hmm.
But we've never had that one guy that comes in and just dominates everybody. And Brock Lesnar is the guy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was great. The only issues I had with it
Mm-hmm.
was that Keith Lee and Ricochet and John Morrison were part of his list of victims
Yeah.
because John Morrison was making a return.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt that he should have had a more prominent return than that.
Yeah, they say they killed his, they killed his intro pretty much.
Yeah, and Ricochet, he it's not really a big deal. Like, oh, who cares if Brock Lesnar threw him around? That's obviously going to happen. So that doesn't really help Brock.
Mm-hmm.
All it does is hurt Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
I would have much rather had, after the fact that Brock was eliminated, which we'll get to in a minute,
Mm-hmm.
I would have rather had Ricochet and John Morrison get in the ring together and have time for the two of them to go at it and do some spots.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. You got, I mean, when you got Ricochet, you got John Morrison. I mean, these two athletic gentlemen with the things that they can do. I mean, they could have definitely uh, livened it up even more. You know what
And
I
people
mean?
forget this, but Kofi Kingston got infamously known for being the guy who always gets thrown over and finds a way to stay in,
Yeah.
which this year he didn't do.
No. Was it
But
last year where it was where they used one of the pancakes?
yeah, it was really stupid.
Yeah, that was.
It was just them running out of ideas and feeling like they have to do it.
Yeah.
And then Naomi started copying him, and Naomi even did the same thing with the chair, and they tried to act like it was new, even though Kofi had already done it.
Mm-hmm.
But you may not remember this, but it was not Kofi who started doing that. It was John Morrison who did it first.
Yeah, I forgot which Rumble he did it, but I remember he did that.
2010.
Yeah, I do remember he did that.
In 2010, he was knocked from the apron to the guardrail,
Mm-hmm.
and Matt Striker was perfect with, he's Spidey!
Yeah.
And then he walked the guardrail and leaped over to the ring steps and came back in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
That was John Morrison. But then Morrison left the company and Kofi took over and started doing it in 2011. In 2011, in fact, actually, I believe it actually was 2011 actually that Morrison did it, not 2010, because I think Kofi and Morrison both did it the same year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember that Kofi that year, that was the year he walked on his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it might have been the same year as Morrison, now that I think about it.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah, I can't remember that far back, but yeah.
It was a big deal, though.
Yeah,
and it would have been cool to maybe see Ricochet and Morrison both get thrown out and be standing on one leg, hopping around, fighting each other outside to try and knock the other over. That would have been an interesting spot.
Yeah. I mean, or they could have taken it to an extreme where one of them was on one leg and the other one was like doing a handstand or something. And like,
I think my favorite one, just because it was so out there, was one year Adam Rose was coming out and his entourage, I forgot what they called those people, but
rosebuds.
they were standing outside the ring like they always do, and Kofi got thrown over and landed on them.
Mm-hmm.
And they threw him back in the ring.
Yeah, it was like
and then they start walking away, and Adam Rose got thrown over, and they didn't catch Adam Rose, their own guy.
Yeah. It was the Rosebuds, and yeah, it was like a stage
the
dive.
Rosebuds, that's right. Yeah. That's what they were. And
yeah, it was like a stage dive, and they put them back. but no,
it was really funny because, like I said, they didn't even catch Adam Rose, who just got thrown out right after.
Yeah, that was too funny.
But yeah, so this year, Brock dominating was a big deal. I did not like, though, Keith Lee being one of those guys, because here we had an opportunity for Keith Lee to show himself, and it wouldn't have worked with Brock because of what they were trying to do with Brock, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
So don't tease that.
Mm-hmm.
Have Keith come in later on in the match. Don't have him come out and be just another victim to Brock Lesnar, because you killed his momentum.
Exactly.
Any momentum he was growing was gone.
Yeah.
Immediately.
No, I agree. And the thing is that Keith Lee himself, he's being a big guy. He's very agile. He's very he's his own presence in the ring. And I mean, if they weren't going to tease it where two big guys going at it, then like you said, right? Like you said, later in the match, when like Brock was a little bit more tired or something like that.
Well, when Brock was gone,
Yeah,
because
that as well.
it was all used as a segue to
Hmm.
have Drew McIntyre come out and be the guy to eliminate Brock. And it was brilliantly done. Brock sold it beautifully the way he went over the top. It was
Hmm.
beautiful. And Brock throwing a tantrum fit was just perfect. Everything about that.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm not.
And I also had a problem with Edge making his return. I saw a meme about this today, but it's true.
Hmm.
Everybody complains about Chris Jericho hanging on to something that isn't there. But what about Edge?
Yeah.
Did anything come from Edge coming back that you think, oh man, he had to come back to do that?
Well, I mean, I can understand. I can understand where he's coming from because he didn't leave on his own terms. He didn't leave on his own terms, and
Oh, gee, what more did he have to accomplish? He main evented WrestleMania. He was the world champion when he left. He's the one guy that they've ever let retire with the belt. You think they're going to let him do that again?
probably not. But it's just
It was really stupid. He's got what every guy ever wanted in wrestling, to be able to retire as champion. And that's not enough for him. He has to come back.
no. But again, it just it's for me. It's one of the it's just a nagging thing. I mean, you got to realize like I can somewhat understand it. And I say somewhat because I was never in that position that Edge was in as far as being on the top, being world champion, and all of that. But I can understand that like okay, physically speaking, even though I was injured, even though the doctors they still telling me now not to get in the ring. Uh, I feel like there's still more for me to give. There's still more for me to do in some way, shape, or form. And it's like, I mean, what's the name? What's the name of it? It's an itch. It's an itch that unless we, it's one of the
It's
things
like
that's
Rocky Balboa with the stuff in the basement.
yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like it's hard to uh to really explain, but I can definitely understand it. And I don't know. I mean, was it and I'm not saying that I agree. I'm not saying that I agree or that I support the fact that he came back because his health is very important. It was the same thing with Daniel Bryan. When Daniel Bryan had to leave because of concussions and whatever, then comes back. It's like and I'm not saying that I agree you know, with them coming back, but I understand why. I definitely understand.
Brian was actually the same injury as Edge with his neck,
Hmm.
just not to the degree where he needed to have it fused and all like Edge did.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like I said, it's just I understand it. I understand it. Um,
And
it's
Paige had the same injury, but
yeah, yeah,
she's yet to make a comeback. And I'm not going to make a joke there, but
yeah. No, and here's the thing is that it's sometimes it's hard to let go. Sometimes it's very hard to let go. It took me a while. It took me a while to really accept the terms, and really let go, and not and don't get me wrong, I still feel like I can go one more match, but I doubt I will. I doubt that I'm ever gonna try because I know that I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it. It's I'm getting too old, man. Like I said, I just understand it. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I understand it. You know what I mean?
right, I get you. But yeah, so the Rumble, it started off good,
Yeah.
and McIntyre's reaction when he won was off the
Oh
charts.
yeah, yeah,
And
definitely.
this guy was destined to be the star. And going back to 2009,
Yep.
uh, he was actually dubbed as Mr. McMahon's chosen one, and then in 2010's Rumble, they made mention of that. Even this is the chosen one, and then I mean he's gone so south after that. I liked 3MB. I thought it was funny, but come on. And then he goes off to TNA and becomes a major star. And WWE was like, "Oh, we need to bring this guy in. We had this guy. We let him go. Well, what were we, crazy?" And then they bring him back, and he really got the shaft because then, that's when everything went down. Yep. And
he was part
empty arenas.
No, but you remember even before that, what was it, like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen type thing that they had? It was wasn't that Drew McIntyre and
You're talking about the League of Nations?
Yeah, wasn't he in there? Or
that wasn't Drew McIntyre.
I know Sheamus was there. But wasn't Drew McIntyre in there?
Yeah, no, it was Sheamus, Del Rio,
Rusev. Or
it
Miro.
Wasn't McIntyre though. McIntyre was already out of the company at that point.
Like I said, I don't remember a lot these days.
Yeah, the League of Nations was it was Rusev, and I know that Sheamus was in there, Del Rio was in there, and Wade Barrett.
Oh, and
who at the time was King Barrett.
No, there was somebody else, the Indian guy. I keep forgetting his name.
Jinder Mahal?
Yeah, he was in there.
Was he part of that?
for a bit, yeah, as far as I remember.
I don't remember him being part of that. Huh. Jinder Mahal was part of 3MB with McIntyre.
Yeah, I know.
No, yeah, well, the League of Nations was going on. That's when McIntyre was in TNA as Drew Galloway.
Yeah. Here's the thing with WWE and Vince McMahon is that, they will have some great talent, not use them properly, and then when these guys, they either leave by themselves or they're fired. They go somewhere else, make a big name for themselves, and then that's when WWE realizes, holy crap, what the heck do we do? And they bring them back. You know what I mean? It's like,
and sometimes they bring them back and they don't do anything with them, a la Christian.
Oh yeah, no, and that's oh my gosh, man, it's
Christian left, became Christian Cage in TNA, became the big star, came back to WWE and had a mild world title run that's mainly forgettable. And they didn't really do anything with him. But so then we go to the empty arenas, and WrestleMania did not feel like WrestleMania.
No.
Being in the empty building was horrible.
Yeah.
It didn't. People badmouthed WrestleMania 11 for not feeling like a WrestleMania. It felt like a glorified house show, is what people have mentioned, including last week on the Stick to Wrestling podcast. They said that.
It wasn't even.
Man, this didn't even feel like a house show. This felt like a glorified training session.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It felt like an episode of Tough Enough had somehow made its way to WrestleMania.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. It's like I mean, okay, I understand because of the situation, okay? I understand because of the situation that's going on with, COVID and everything, right? But it was funny because Jim Cornette, okay? And it was funny, and I remember I said this, you know that Facebook group we're in, right? The wrestling one.
Yes.
Okay. So I said this. Excuse me. I said this one time, or a couple of times in that group, where, with WWE, what they should have done from the beginning, is that, because when they first did the first empty arena stuff, right? The first night of Raw and the first night of SmackDown, it was empty. They had the seats and everything, and what they should have done is that, look, they have what over. Over 3,000 trainees at the Performance Center that are not even working in NXT. Right?
Yeah, and they should have filled them in the seats. Exactly. Cornette said that too, like you said.
No, that's what I'm saying. I remember saying that, and then Cornette says that like a week later. And then I was like, see?
And the other thing is, turn the lights down like it was for WrestleMania 1.
Yeah.
Where you only have the light on the ring.
Yeah, right under.
Cut out the freaking long oriented entrances.
Yes.
Make this feel like it's packed when it's not.
Yeah. No. No.
Make it feel like this is a big deal.
Yeah. Give
Instead, you're
this.
showing everybody your hand.
Yeah. And give this the old smoky arena feel to it. From like.
Give it the illusion that what we're watching is a big deal
Yes.
and not a bunch of people playing in a gymnasium.
Exactly. You remember before. Okay, you remember back in the day on house shows, right? Before the today, right? Where like last year and the years before, that the house shows, they made it look like Raw and SmackDown with the stage and the lighting and all that, right? You remember before all of that, all it was the ring in the center of the arena with the barricades, and then of course the aisleway, and there was only a small set of lights just above the ring that only lit up the ring and just barely the outside. They should have done that. They should do that in the performance center, and they should have done that in the performance center, and like like you said, like get rid of the the long entrances and everything. But it's like, they should have just, like, I mean, like I was saying or just earlier, that old arena, the smoky arena feel to it, and
I remember people saying too, including Cornette,
mm-hmm,
and I said that was not a good idea, and
mm-hmm,
it turns out I was right.
mm-hmm,
They were like, "Oh, well, this pandemic will be over by August, so
mm-hmm,
just cancel SummerSlam and make WrestleMania SummerSlam." But as you see,
yeah,
that didn't happen because it didn't end.
mm-hmm. No, it's
So
no,
yeah,
no,
the
no.
but yeah, so WrestleMania, and I'm not a fan of these cinematic things either that they
Ah,
keep doing.
yeah, no, it's.
I know a lot of people are loving these things. I can't stand them.
I'm
It's not wrestling. It's
no,
not
it.
entertainment. It's just garbage. You know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
It's Matt Hardy compound garbage. That's what it is. Because that was the first. WWE can claim they created it, but no, Matt Hardy created it in
Yep,
TNA
yep.
with the Hardy compound matches,
Mm-hmm.
and they were the same exact garbage style. And now WWE has taken it to the next level, and then TNA still doing stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
AEW is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's which WWE tried to copy it even when Matt was doing it in TNA, because WWE did it with the Wyatts and Randy Orton
Mm-hmm.
at the Wyatt family compound,
Mm-hmm.
basically. But
I think.
it's garbage.
But you got, yeah, excuse me. What people don't realize about it, okay, is the fact that McMahon is not trying to be a professional wrestling promoter. He's trying to be a movie producer with wrestling. It's like it makes no daggone sense. Okay, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I kind of enjoyed the AJ Styles versus Undertaker one. I enjoyed that one pretty.
Yeah, I hated that. For the main reason on that was
Mm-hmm.
Taker's in the grave and then he disappears and then he's behind AJ. He
Yeah.
teleported.
But again, for me, I enjoyed it because of the fact that it gives that mystique feel to Undertaker the way it was when Undertaker was. You remember Undertaker? He got put in the casket against Yokozuna, and then all of a sudden the lightning hit. It was caught fire, and then he's rising from like behind the screen or whatever, and it's just like WWE has been doing stuff like that for Undertaker for a long time. So
And it was dumb then and it's dumb now, in my opinion.
yeah, that's your opinion. I'm just saying, for me, I enjoyed. I just, as far as the cinematic matches are concerned, that's the only one I enjoyed. Like the one with Bray
And
Wyatt versus
the
John
thing that I
Cena
don't
was epic.
understand about, and this was at Mania with the cinematic,
Mm-hmm.
and people like this,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, but what was it? Was the Funhouse thing with Cena and Bray
Yeah, yeah,
Wyatt?
that's what I was talking about. I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I was saying that is that
It wasn't even a
that
match.
was like the dumbest. That was the dumbest crap ever. The that
I still don't know what that was.
Yeah, it's. I mean, no. And if you think about it, you remember when Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt, they were going at it for a minute, and Seth Rollins burnt down the the Playhouse or whatever, Bray Wyatt's Funhouse, and next thing you know, it's like they're talking about it like, oh, it didn't happen in real life. This just happened in Bray Wyatt's mind. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, we now have the ability as an audience to see inside somebody's mind.
Yeah,
It's just like the old days. Remember when Hulk Hogan's looking in the mirror and he sees the Ultimate Warrior,
yeah,
and Eric Bischoff can't see him and goes, "What are you looking at? You're going crazy."
yeah,
But the whole audience, the announcers, all of them could see it too.
yeah,
So in reality, it's Bischoff who was the crazy one.
yeah. I mean,
To pull off that segment, they could have did that well if they just didn't have the Warrior in the mirror.
yeah,
That's how you played it off, but they were too stupid to realize
yeah.
that.
I mean, again, we've talked about this before. We talked about this many times on the show. It's the fact it's they're taking professional wrestling and taking the realism out of it. You know what I mean? Ever since whether it's because of kayfabe, the disappearance of kayfabe or whatever, um, it doesn't really suspense your belief or disbelief or whatever. You know what I mean? It's all become a big
Oh, believe me, they make me disbelieve a lot.
and
There's so many times I say I can't believe what I'm seeing.
yeah, I mean, and both of us, we tend to be real old school on things. We're old school on wrestling. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some new things that I do enjoy that you may not enjoy, but I enjoy. But at the same time, I'm still about that old school. The old school. You know what? Professional wrestling. It's two guys getting in there, telling a story in the ring. And then a promo should not be the sole means of telling the story, or you know what I mean. A promo or a skit segment in professional wrestling should not be the sole way for them to tell a story. The story is told in the ring. You start the match off with two guys. They're like evenly matched up, or David versus Goliath or whatever. You know what I mean? And see, somebody's calling right now, and they're gonna they got to make a comment on this.
I was gonna say though that yeah, that's the thing is that it makes you wonder where they even get these ideas sometimes, because you just have the one guy in the ring is supposed to tell the story, yes, but the promos, they can also help, and they're supposed to help sell the match.
Yeah,
But that's the point,
no,
is that
the
you're supposed
promo.
to sell the match and then deliver the match,
Yeah.
and they're not delivering that match.
The
It's basically
promo.
like you're ordering your favorite pizza,
Yeah.
and then when the pizza arrives,
Hmm.
they give you the pizza, but it doesn't have anything on it that you asked for, and you say, "Where's the pizza I asked for?" "Oh no, this is what we're giving you, and because we're giving it to you, you have to enjoy it because
Yeah.
this is what we're giving you. You like it or you don't like it, don't order us again.
Yeah.
We have plenty of people who will order from us,
Yeah.
so we don't need your
No.
business."
Yeah.
That's the wrestling business these days.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like, the promo. The promo is, again, it's not supposed to be it's supposed to be kind of like the icing on the cake. The promo is supposed to be like kind of like the icing on the cake. Or the extra cheese on the pizza or
Well, like the
whatever.
old NWA wrestling, which I used to watch every Saturday night
Mhm.
with my dad and my brother,
Mhm.
you know, they would have preliminary matches. Basically, there were matches with job guys,
Yeah.
and that show was never about the matches. You watched that show for the promos, because they would all stand at the booth and give promos all night,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that was what it was all about.
Yeah, no, and but again, it's like NWA, the NW, they had a really good a good balance. They had a great balance. Even now with the way that the NWA the way it is on YouTube, you know what I mean? They have they're doing the old school studio setup. You know what I mean? But again, it's just there's that balance, that balance between the match, between the promos. It's like I really miss that balance. I really miss it, and now everything is just what it is now. You know, it's like I when I watch Raw or I watch SmackDown, I don't even pay attention to the show until I hear the bell ring. You know, because I can't enjoy the show. I can't enjoy the show. And so I wait until the
I'll
bell
tell you, the
rings.
one that lost me was during the Cell match
Mhm.
with Roman Reigns and whichever Uso it was.
Mhm.
And Roman literally puts the ring steps over him, and then he does a monologue
Yeah.
for like 10 minutes. He's just talking to him really loud, and it felt like I'm watching some kind of movie, bad movie, no less. And it definitely didn't feel like a match.
Mhm.
So yeah, wrestling has completely fallen off the deep end. And then we went to the Thunderdome, and that was a mess. And it's not any good. In reality, I think what they should have did, and it wouldn't have cost that much to do,
Mhm.
considering what they did.
Mhm.
They should have put like some dummies in the audience,
Mhm.
and then put like iPad as the head, and have the people's faces show up on that.
Yeah.
At least then it would feel like there's people. And they need to stop dubbing in noises. It didn't work with Goldberg back in the day, and it's not working now.
It didn't work with Gilbert either.
Speaking of Gilbert, he's on Cameo.
Yeah.
And they did a thing on Cornette's podcast. They listened to one of his videos where he's just like off the charts, so excited to talk to this young fan who knew who he was. And it's really a big deal. It's like I can't even like mention it. It's just the stuff he said though. It's just like out there. I
Well,
remember when I met him too. He was a really cool guy.
yeah. One thing about Gilbert, is that uh he was always a great enhancement talent. You know what I mean? I respected his hustle in the business. He anything he could do to wrestle just to get in the ring. You know what I mean? He knew he wasn't gonna be a main attraction and whatever. But it was like
He
he
was in a Royal Rumble as Gilbert.
yeah. But no, but I'm just saying that as as far as his overall career. I mean, me personally, like me personally, I knew I wasn't gonna be a main star attraction. Don't get me wrong. I've had a couple matches here and there where I was like the main event type thing. But I knew I was never gonna be the main star attraction. So I didn't care about putting anybody over. I didn't mind putting anybody. I didn't mind being the enhancement talent. I didn't mind, you know, any of that. And and one of the things that I was always told is that I can sell it really well, and I'm like, okay, cool. You know, if you can sell the match really well, and you can sell, you really put the other guy over. This is like a team effort. You know what I mean? Professional wrestling is a team effort, and you know what? I was just happy to be in the ring. So it's like I have that respect for Gilbert because he was the same way. He just wanted to be in the ring. You know what I mean? So it's I just got nothing but respect for the guy. And as far as him being on Cameo and all of that, I don't know. Maybe I'll book him or something on Cameo, do to shoot a promo or something.
I think the funniest one like that was Lanny Poffo because somebody booked him, and the person that they booked him to talk to, he's talking to that person, and he goes, "And by the way, to you, f you for not booking me." Hearing Lanny Poffo use that language in this video that's supposed to be heartfelt, even it's just so funny.
Yeah. Well, he's not known for
But
cursing. He's not known for cursing or swearing.
no, and that's why it was like it caught me off guard to hear it.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I gotta look that up.
Oh, these are great, man. That's why you gotta start listening to Cornette's podcast every week
It's just
because they've
wow.
been critiquing these things, and it's one of their best segments on the drive-through lately. Is when they're critiquing the cameos.
Yeah.
They did one with Baron von Raschke. There's been a whole bunch of good ones, but
Yeah.
yeah. So now where we're at, They're piping in the crowd noise. They got the Thunderdome. They got zombies wandering around rapidly. It's just, it's horrible. I can't stand it. And the one guy that was reassuring every week on NXT at least was Pat McAfee,
Mm-hmm.
and now they just took him off television for some reason.
Yeah.
So it makes us worried about where 2021 is going to go. And we start with the Royal Rumble, and there's a couple things that right off the bat I think they need to do at the Royal Rumble. One is make it a Pat Patterson tribute.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I hate that Pat was never in a Rumble, and we talked about that already.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, either last week or the week before when we were talking about Pat Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
But Pat, it would have been nice for him to be in one, but they need to at least do some kind of tribute to Pat.
Yep.
And the other thing is this year they kind of have an advantage,
Mm-hmm.
and they can do something. But knowing them, they're not going to do it. And if they did, they'd screw it up.
Yeah.
You know how every year people get excited about the surprise entrance?
Yeah.
And it's always so hard to keep them a secret because of the people at the buildings seeing these people throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
There's no people.
Exactly.
So they could easily bring in somebody and nobody will be able to spoil it, and they'll be able to have some surprises.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I think that's what they need to do this year is go out there, get somebody that nobody's expecting to see in this match. And I talked about that too, how big a deal it would have been when he was alive if Zeus had been a surprise one year.
Oh, yeah.
So there are guys that could pop the crowd like, oh my God, I never expected that. I mean, there's guys obviously that will never be able to do that, but there's some guys that I think they should really try and bring them in and do that just to grab the audience, and get their attention.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. I mean, at this point, right? At this point, if you think about it, uh, okay, right now, okay, as far as I know, Shaquille O'Neal, he's supposed to be going to AEW now. Okay, that's like one of the newest things that's coming out that came out. That Shaquille O'Neal is going to AEW, and for whatever reason, shoot, Shaquille O'Neal could, if Shaquille O'Neal could have made an appearance at at another Royal Rumble, because remember he came at that Royal Rumble and where him and Big Show went at it and then they both got eliminated.
That wasn't even a Royal Rumble. It was a Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Okay, well, still, he could come out he could have come out at next year's Royal Rumble or this year's or something, but But if he wasn't going to AEW, they could, bring in Shaq and like have Big Show, be another entrant, and then Shaq, come in and make up a story that Shaq found out that the Big Show was coming back and he had to be in the Royal Rumble to go and do whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, at this point, like you said, at this point, they could really bring a surprise. They could bring a surprise entrant very easily.
A few surprises could really be there, and nobody would know they're there. Yeah. This is the time to do it, but
hey,
don't mess it up.
Bring Chuck Norris. Put Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris has been there before.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, but put him in the Royal Rumble. Let him do.
But would you really want to see Chuck Norris in there?
Hey, you know what?
Stallone or Schwarzenegger, I think, would be better.
Well, I'm just saying. If they put Chuck Norris in there, right? He could do a couple of martial arts moves and take out a couple of the NXT guys or whatever, and then like get like Keith Lee or Brock, even not well Brock Lesnar. They're not gonna bring him back, but like Braun Strowman and throw him out. Like Braun Strowman or Keith Lee or even Otis. Like like have Otis take him out or something like that and be like, yeah, baby, I took out Chuck Norris or whatever. I'm just at this point. With the way that things are going, let's bring in Chuck Norris. That's all I gotta say.
Terry Crews.
Yeah, another guy. Yeah, yeah, Terry Crews. Yeah, I can go for that. I can definitely
Yeah,
get.
I would love to see Terry Crews in there. Have him come out as President Camacho. Remember, he's supposed to be 3 time SmackDown champion
Right,
before he becomes president.
right. Oh man. What was his the name of his character on White Chicks? I forgot.
He was in that.
Yeah, he was in White Chicks.
I seen that once, so
All right, hold on.
didn't like it.
Let me look it up. Let me look it up. Hold on. Let me look. Come on. Give me the cast. Give me the cast. Give me the cast. No, that's not it.
But yeah, he
Okay.
was in Friday After Next,
Yeah.
and he was great in that.
He played a basketball star named Latrell Spencer. Okay. In White Chicks, he played a basketball star named Latrell Spencer. All right. So have him be Latrell Spencer at the Royal Rumble, coming out to the song "A Thousand Miles." You know, it's like, have him making my way downtown, walking fast faces, and doing the whole dance. And at this point, I don't
Okay,
care. At this point, I don't care. Let's put it this way: at this point with the Royal Rumble, I just don't care. Let's go all crazy with it. I don't care.
let's get the Brooklyn Brawler in there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We could definitely get the Brooklyn Brawler in there. He hasn't been in a Rumble
I
in a
I
long
don't
time.
believe Brawler's ever been in a Royal Rumble. I don't remember him being in one.
he's been in one like one. He's been in one that I remember, and he was taken out quick.
See, I don't remember him being in a Rumble.
Let me see. Let me look that up again. Making sure that I
But
got.
yeah, even the females, bring in some stars. Well, bring it from the past.
Oh yeah,
Let Medusa get a run in a Rumble.
yeah, definitely, definitely. But would she want to though? Would she want to?
I don't know why she won it. She did the WWE Evolution pay per view battle royal,
Yeah, that's true.
so I don't see why she wouldn't want to do it.
Hmm.
But yeah, so the Royal Rumble has some hope for it. I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah.
Hoping that they could fix it. In 2021 in general, I'm hoping the wrestling scene picks up. I hope that we can start having people back in the buildings and start trying to rebuild this foundation that
Well,
no longer exists.
one of the things that I heard, and it was an article that I read. McMahon doesn't plan on bringing back house shows.
Yeah, I heard that. But they've said that before and then they brought it back.
Yeah, but the thing is that house shows are the key thing to running. The house shows are the key thing. It is in the house shows where things can be perfected. It is in the house shows that draws in the money, but as well as you can test out new gimmicks. You can test out new things, and I mean I mean I don't care. And here's the thing: I don't care how much micromanaging WWE does, and how much and all the scripts and all that nonsense that they do. Uh, if the fans aren't in it, if the fans aren't in it, if they're like, if you don't test it out in front of the fans on a house show, it's not gonna go well on TV. And I think we've seen that many times this year. We've seen that many times this year where they try they try so many new things that didn't pan out, and their ratings go. Their ratings have gone. That was one of the good things and key things about the house show, is that if it didn't work well in a house show, they didn't try it on TV. And but so with the house show, if they try it and it works, then they try it on TV, because it's worked on so many different house shows. Ratings are gonna go up. And McMahon's wondering how come the ratings have been going down with all this, that, and the other. It's like, you know you don't have, how can I say this? like in any form of entertainment, in any form of entertainment, like movies and you know, like and that sort of thing. If you don't have a test, if you don't have a test crowd, you know, to do it in front
The
of,
rehearsal.
you know, it's like like in movies before they in movies, right, before they before they bring it out into the theaters. What do? They do a couple of test runs, and you know, and have people basically write their opinions down and whatever. They might fix some things in the movies here and there. Then the final production goes on in the theater. That was the house shows. You know, the crowd reaction. That was, you know, hello, this is not going to work. This will work. Let's fix this. Let's fix that. Then it's on TV. It's on pay per view. High ratings. You know, it's like, and don't get me wrong. And you know, and again, you know, I'm old school with wrestling, but if you're gonna put wrestling on TV, you got to have the house shows. You got to, you know, have that fan, that crowd reaction, so that way when you put it on TV, guess what? It kills, it sells, it's gold every time. That's how I feel about it, man. Yes, I'm very passionate today.
Yeah, I can see that. But no, to me, though, the house shows have been dead for a while. When I went to one recently, it was garbage. And pretty much every WWE house show I've ever been to was always garbage. So
I
I'm not a big.
no, the last one I went to, okay, okay, last year I went to the pay-per-view, and then I went to the last Raw of 2019. The year before that, I went to a Raw, and I went to a house show. And the house show was pretty decent. It was pretty decent. They had Ember Moon, they had Asuka, they had, you know, so it was pretty decent. You know, it's like, um, but you know, a lot of the house shows, I do agree with you. A lot of the house shows that I went through, yeah, definitely was garbage. You know, it's like, I agree with you on that. I'm just saying that recently, the last house show I went to was pretty decent. Crickets, crickets, crickets. You good, bro? Bro. Okay. So just to emphasize, the house shows for me is very important. It's very important to have it. Without that crowd reaction, it's, I don't know. It's really you know, you're not gonna get good TV. You're not gonna get good TV. You know what I mean? That's just all I gotta say about it. How do you feel about it, bro?
Yeah, I just don't care much about the house shows.
Yeah.
The last one I went to was with Ronda Rousey, and it
Okay.
was a garbage show. Like top to bottom, there wasn't one good match. The people they I noticed when I go to WWE events,
Mhm.
especially lately, it
Mhm.
was always there, but now it's like really there.
Mhm.
They don't care to watch the show.
Mhm.
They treat it like they're at the circus or a carnival.
Mhm.
They're just happy to be a part of this.
Mhm.
And they only care to be there just to experience the feeling and the atmosphere, but they don't care to actually watch the show.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you'll say, "Oh man, how do you feel about the show?" Oh, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, did you enjoy that Buddy Murphy match versus Cedric Alexander?
Mhm.
Who? The guys that wrestled earlier. Oh, we're not actually watching the matches. Then what the heck are you doing at a show?
Oh no, I agree. I agree. There's been many times. There's been even on TV. You know, whether it's house shows or TV. It's like I'm trying to watch the matches. I'm trying to watch the matches, and then you got the, you know, the people behind me, or the people in front of me, or the people, like, you know, like 10 seats, you know, next to me or whatever. They're having a whole conversation, not paying attention, and I'm, you know, and I'm trying to pay attention to the match, and they're talking about whatever, God knows what, and I'm like, come on, can I watch the match? Damn, be quiet.
Exactly.
Hey, why did you
So
come here?
That's one of the main reasons I can't stand house shows is for that reason.
Yeah. But it's even on TV. It
But
happens on TV. Like when I went to the pay per view last year, it happened on the pay per view too. It was just, you had people there that they just were not paying attention to the show, and I'm like, can I please watch the match or just shut up or leave? Like dang.
yeah, I agree. But speaking of watching things,
Yeah.
why don't you tell the people where else can they see you at?
All right, where you can see me, it's on Josue Skits. Josue Skits, that's where I do my crazy skits. That's where I make my comedy skits, and where I can make you laugh. I can make you laugh and very silly. Also on Tuesday and as on Tuesday Night Tussle, where I take fights that I find on YouTube or Facebook or anywhere else online, I add my commentary where I make them look stupid for recording their fight, and both of those channels can be found in the description box below. And guess what? Mr. Big Time Jimmy Larson, he's in the archives. Yeah, he did a couple skits with me. We did a couple things, and where he was
For
rescued.
Tuesday Night Tussle.
Yeah, for Tuesday Night Tussle. And guess what? Yeah, that's where you can find him in the archives. In the meantime, I also got some bad news about a Tuesday Night Tussle that's really upsetting. But yeah, that's where they can find me.
Is your bad news the same bad news that I'm about to announce for my show?
No, no, no.
Okay. Um, So anyway, you can check my shows out at the Big Time Jimmy Larson channel. The link is also in the description below, where you can check out Time Out at the Arcade. So far, only one episode is up. There will be more coming eventually, hopefully soon. You can also check out my main show at the movies. Every Friday night, there is a new episode where I review movies, but not really. I basically just make fun of these movies and the things wrong with them while pointing out the things I like as well. And then I do give my opinion of the movie at the end and let you know if I liked it or not. But I always say, watch it yourself to give your own opinion. This week coming up is New Year's Day, this Friday, and there will be a new episode up. Yesterday was Christmas Day. A new episode came up for my favorite Christmas movie of all time. It came upon the midnight clear. Next week for New Year's, it's hockey night as I review all three Mighty Ducks movies. That's right, the trilogy is there Mighty Ducks D2 and D3, all in one review that you do not want to miss. Why else do you not want to miss it? Well, because there's a little bit of a problem. At the movies, after next week, will be postponed for the remainder of January. I've been hyping up a big month for January, and I will reveal that next week what it was planned to be, but right now it's on postponement, it's on hiatus. There will be the episode next Friday, as I said, on January 1st, and then there will not be another episode until February. So do not be alarmed.
Boo! Sorry.
Do not be alarmed, but the show will return in February at full swing, and we have some great episodes coming up in February. As part of February, we will bring this up later when it gets closer, but it will be a themed month as well on At the Movies. So make sure you check out those episodes. Make sure you like any of the videos that you like, and make sure that you subscribe to the channels. With that, we're going to talk about some future projects. I just mentioned a bunch of them. We have some others in the works as well. Mr. CT Bishop and I are also helping to assist some other people with their projects. So we have lots of stuff coming in the new year.
Oh yeah.
Anything you wanted to add to that before we move on?
No, no. Just we have a lot going on. We have a lot going on, and you know, you'll see it soon. You'll see it soon. I definitely have some future skits in the works. And the only thing that's really upsetting to me is that I've been over the past. Okay, Tuesday Night Tussle has been around since for like what since what about 4 years ago, right? maybe less than that, about 3 or 4 years ago.
I think it was like 2015. I think
Yeah,
actually we started that.
yeah, right. So yeah,
So I think it
2015.
was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, so 5 years ago, that's starting 2015. Okay, because the date on okay, I've been getting these emails from YouTube. Okay, I've been getting these emails from YouTube that they have been deleting certain certain videos because it went against community standards. And okay, and I can understand it if it was brand new videos, according to the community standards. And but the fact that this was from 2015 and now they're telling me something about it, it's really getting me angry. And it's like, I just want to, I'm like, boo, boo, like, leave me alone, stop, cut the crap, And it's, but you know what? I just got to move forward. I got to move forward with it. And, I can't let that stop me. I can't let that stop me. But over the past couple of weeks, I've been getting some emails on that. So I gotta see what I can do. If I can appeal the decision because it was it was so long ago or whatever before these new community guidelines or whatever. I don't know, but uh, let's see what I can do with that one.
All right.
Hmm.
Um. Well, as I said, yesterday was Christmas Day.
Yep.
And on Christmas Eve, we were all given an early Christmas gift,
Yep.
as an announcement was made officially by Netflix and by everybody involved in the show about Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai was slated, to return with season 3 on January 8th. The
Hmm.
announcement came out in a funny fashion
Hmm.
with the Johnny video being edited again,
Hmm.
showing that that's too long to wait. So they bumped it up a week, and that means that at midnight the ball will drop to make 2021 a thing, but also at that point, Cobra Kai season 3 will also drop with the ball. Let's just hope that they don't actually drop the ball on the
Yay!
show.
Sorry, I'm playing
But
sound
yeah, so Cobra
effects.
Kai season 3 will be coming your way
Hmm.
on January 1st on Netflix. So make sure that you check that out.
Yay! I'm playing the sound effects as I go. You remember I told you last week I'm gonna play sound effects.
Well, there's one problem I'm having with this though.
Okay.
Have you been following Netflix on YouTube?
Yeah. I'm subscribed to
Every
that.
day lately, they're releasing a new clip to tease the show.
Yeah.
Stop. We want to watch the show. They're spoiling it. I'm not watching these videos because I don't want to spoil the show.
Yeah. I only saw like maybe one. I saw
I don't know
maybe.
why they're doing this every day lately. They're dropping a new clip, and it's like people already want to watch the show. It's like in the movie Scrooge when Bill Murray creates a brand new trailer for Scrooge, and then Bobcat's like, "But people already want to watch the show."
Yeah.
And unlike Bill Murray's speech of they have to be so afraid to miss it that they feel like their life depends on it. But that's not what's happening here.
Yeah.
I feel like with them releasing clip after clip after clip after clip, eventually they're going to release the whole season like this.
Yeah. No, and that's the problem with it. That is the problem with it because I mean, for crying out loud, what the heck? You're giving more and more spoilers, and by the time the first episode, comes on, in January 1st, it's like, okay, you already know this, that, and the other. You know that Daniel and Johnny, they're gonna have a talk. They're this, that. It's like, come on, let us make us wait at least, make people wait. I'm happy that yes, they moved it up a week, right? And we're gonna have it as soon as the ball hits and it's midnight, and I'm gonna go on on Netflix and press play. But like you, I only saw one. I saw like the first video, but then as I noticed that they kept on like every day releasing something, like the second day I was like, no, I'm not gonna spoil it for myself, I'm not gonna. And then of course you got the Cobra Kai, related channels. They're talking up a big storm and not making a goddamn sense. You know what I mean with what's happening.
Yeah, a certain kid is doing his stupid reenactments and everything else, and
Yeah.
acting like he's better than everybody because he predicted that the show was coming back on the 1st and not the 8th.
Mm.
But it's just, I watched the one with Kumiko and I thought, okay, that's cool. But
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, new footage arrives, and he's letting us know every time a new one comes out too. When new footage arrives,
Yeah.
let's break it down, or what you missed. I love that.
Yeah.
What you missed. We didn't miss any of that.
Exactly.
What you missed? No, we didn't miss that, dude. You get over yourself.
Yep.
You think you're finding things that nobody else saw. You didn't even. You weren't even alive when the Karate Kid was around,
Yep. Yep.
and you didn't watch them until after you saw Cobra Kai, and yet you think you're a super fan.
All right.
Which, by the way, speaking of Cobra Kai, they re-released the DVDs. The season 1 and 2 DVD box set is back out, but it does not feature the double-sided headband anymore.
Oh yeah, I remember you told me about that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
back, and a lot
Well,
of people's
without the double
excited
set.
about it that they can own it. And apparently, they did not edit the music out. So
Mm-hmm.
apparently, the only thing that is new is there's a Netflix logo instead of a YouTube logo
Mm-hmm.
before each episode, and also on the DVD cover itself.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the only changes. They took out the YouTube logos and put in Netflix logos.
Mm-hmm.
So my copy's still a rare one because I have the YouTube version.
You have the original. You have the original.
It's like when they re-released Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and the first one everybody thought was going to go up in value, even though there was nothing to it other than the fact that it had hot coffee mode in there, but you couldn't access it, so it was
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
Well, all I know is that I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to find the original like what you have, with the double sided and with the YouTube logo and stuff because uh, you know just to have it.
Well, they have them out there, but they go for a high demand price. I've seen them in the thousands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I don't
I
know.
wish I knew it was going to be that rare. I would have bought them all when I saw it the day I bought mine.
Hmm. No, yeah, no. It's just all I know, man. All I know is that you know this show this show has definitely delivered. You know what I'm saying? This show has definitely delivered, and every new episode, I just been more and more excited for the franchise. You know what I mean? It's like it brought back my childhood. It brought back that excitement and like kind of that childhood innocence. You know what I mean? And I'm just I can't wait till January 1st. I can't wait. It's just I get more excited, and like now I binge watch Cobra Kai. I binge watch Cobra Kai every day. You know what I mean? And once the last episode of season 2 finishes, I go back to season 1. You know what I mean? It's just this show
Yeah, I'm
has
a little
yeah.
amazed that they're bringing back so many characters now for season 3
Mhm.
from season 1,
Mhm.
but they couldn't find anything to do with Aisha, so they're kicking her off the show.
Yeah, I think that's kind of screwed up. I think that's messed up. I think they could have.
Because they're bringing back Kyler. He's
Mhm.
back.
Yeah.
They're bringing back the girl who was friends with Sam
Mm-hmm.
that was a popular girl. I
Jasmine,
can't remember her name, but
Jasmine.
she's back. And I'm like, okay, you're bringing back all these characters from season one that we haven't seen,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't bring back Aisha.
No, exactly. For me, Aisha was an integral part of the show.
She was my mom's favorite character on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, definitely, definitely. She was, she was an integral part of the show. I mean, they seriously could have really add more uh to her character. I have no idea why they couldn't figure something out for. I mean,
Well, like she said in an interview, they did offer her to be part of it,
mm-hmm.
but she was only going to be a background character and have no speaking lines all season.
Ah,
And she didn't want to do that. They were going to pay her, but they had nothing for her storyline wise, so she would have just been seen in background shots. And
mm-hmm.
she said that she wasn't going to waste her time going there to do that.
Mm-hmm. No, but
I remember when
yeah,
Oz was filming, and
yeah,
the actors would say how they would get annoyed because they would literally be sitting in the background of shots for like 12 hours
yeah,
while they're doing shooting,
yeah.
and just so they could be in the background shots.
It just no. I can understand why she you know wouldn't go for that. But and they I don't know why they couldn't figure something out for her. I mean, they could have. I understand that they're doing something with Samantha and Tori. You know what I mean? That they're trying. I don't know if they're gonna be friends or they're gonna be enemies or they're gonna be in an underground fight club. I don't know. Depending from the scenes that I saw in the trailers, but Aisha could have been that that moderator, that middle ground where she basically snaps some sense into Tori and into Samantha, and be like, look, cut the crap. Both of you are really cool people. You need to get along better. Blah, blah something. You know what I mean? I have no clue. It's one of those things for me that they could have done something with her. They could have done something with Aisha. There's no excuse for it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I just don't. I don't understand it, but as I said to you earlier, though, I do
Mm-hmm.
want to have a shorter show, so we're going to move on.
Yep.
Is there any other hopes that we have for 2021 other than wrestling and Cobra Kai? I mean, I'm definitely hoping movies will return to theaters.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed as they finally released a trailer, and I didn't even watch the trailer yet. It's on my list
Mm-hmm.
for Coming to America. But the problem is, it's not going to be in theaters now. It was scheduled to come out December 25th,
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Day, and now it's being released. I forgot when. I think March, I believe it was. I
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah. March.
But it's going to be an Amazon Prime exclusive.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. They're calling it an Amazon Prime original movie. The movie was not filmed for Amazon Prime. The movie was
Exactly.
filmed for the theater. It's just that
Exactly.
Amazon Prime now bought it. Just
Exactly.
like I'm laughing, going back to Cobra Kai for a second, but
Mm-hmm.
Cobra Kai is now calling themselves a Cobra Kai original series. And it's not,
Mm.
or I mean, a Netflix original series.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not a Netflix
It
original
started.
series. It
It started
started
on
on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
didn't create it, Netflix, so it's not your original series.
Exactly.
You bought something that already existed. That's like saying you buy a show that aired like 30 years ago and then you call it your original.
Exactly. Exactly.
You could call it a Netflix exclusive show.
Yeah.
That would work.
Exactly.
But don't call it an original series when it's not original to you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. No, I
But yeah,
agree.
the same thing's going on with Amazon. Oh, it's an Amazon Prime original movie.
No, the heck it's
No, it's
not.
not.
No, it's not. No.
But
No.
they need to stop this stuff with
No.
the movies not going to theaters and ending up on these networks because it's just killing the movie industry.
Yeah. No, I agree. No, and here's and okay, you remember I think we talked about it a few shows ago where okay, if they need to bring drive-in theaters back. If anything. If they're so afraid, if
Well, they
currently,
do have a few out there. There are a few drive-in
oh
theaters
no,
still.
oh no, I agree, but I'm just saying, like in general, like they could open more up, especially with the current situation. If they're so afraid of, they're so afraid of, COVID, quote unquote COVID or whatever, that they could have drive-in theaters. But here's the problem that I have. Here's the problem that I see with this. Okay, and I'm not gonna get too political or anything, but if they can open Walmart, they can open a Target and have all these people in there. If they can if they can put people on an airplane, right? They can fit people on an airplane with masks on for however many hours. They can open a movie theater.
Dude, I gotta cut you off a minute. I'm trying to find out if this source is legit or not. I'm hearing rumors that Brody Lee just died.
That's what I heard. I just saw it on the chat. I just saw it on the chat. Let me
Probably
read
from
it.
the same person who just texted me.
Yeah. John.
Um, oh my god, it is legit because
Oh.
AEW has posted about it. Even
Wow. I want.
Luke Harper, Brody Lee. 26 minutes ago, it broke that Brody Lee, who is known as Luke Harper, just passed away. And you are hearing this. This is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. It was posted by Stephanie McMahon, Titus O'Neil, Mustafa Ali, Sami Zayn. The list goes on and on. So it is a legit
Yeah.
news story. And this is like our first reactions to this.
Wow.
We literally just heard this news,
Wow.
and it's horrible. He was only 41 years old,
Yeah.
and yeah, I know who he named Brody,
Mhm.
and just from watching him all the time on like the Up Down Down show and all,
Yep.
he seemed like such a cool dude I would want to hang out with.
Oh yeah.
He was so down to earth. He got his name Brody Lee. We're going off topic now. I know when we're
No.
going off
Go.
script, but this
Yeah.
is real life here. This just was not planned, of course.
Mhm.
But no, he named himself after his favorite character from the movie Mallrats,
Mhm.
played by Jason Lee, Brody. And
Mhm.
so he took Brody from that and
And then
took Lee
Lee.
from Jason Lee, mixed them together, and became Brody Lee. And a lot of
Yeah.
people would mix it up thinking that he was Brody Lee based on Bruiser Brody, but that had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. No.
But
And and I mean, he was an innovator in wrestling himself. I mean, he was running his own promotion early on. Uh, he was running his own promotion early on before WWE, before any,
yeah, and he was a major part of NWA Upstate as well. He
Yeah,
kept those guys in business for the longest
yeah,
time.
yeah. I mean, he's
But yeah, like Stephanie McMahon even wrote, I'm so deeply sorry for the loss of John Hoover. We bonded over the love of our children. He was a true family man. R.I.P. Brody Lee.
oh my gosh, man. Um,
This is horrible news.
no
It,
words,
it,
man.
it really is. I mean, I'm not a fan of his work in AEW and the Dark Order.
Hmm.
Um, but as a person,
Yeah,
he was this amazing person that I seen in all these videos and everything. And like I said, on Up Down Down, he was able to be himself, and it really, wow. You talk about tragedies, and this is a tragedy.
yeah,
And he gets a lot of heat from Jim Cornette and all for his work, and they badmouth him. But
yeah. But
like I said, work aside, the human being, it's just crazy.
yeah,
Or as I just read, dude, this is nuts.
yeah,
As I got a couple of texts from different people about it.
yeah,
Literally, people are asking me, "Did you hear?" And I'm like, "Apparently, you're not watching my show."
yeah.
Um,
Oh my god. Um,
didn't want to have that happen, but there you go.
yeah,
2020 took another one. It can't give up.
yeah,
We're right at the end of the home stretch of 2020, and we lose another one.
yeah. It's wow. I got no words, bro. I got no words. I just I know, like I got no words.
I
I've always
mean,
heard
he
he's
was
the
part of
most.
the Wyatt family, and
Yep.
Luke Harper, the character. I liked the character of Luke Harper. I'll never forget the ladder match that he had with Dolph Ziggler.
Mhm.
The Wyatt family feud with the Shield, of course, was really good, and I always felt he had this untapped potential
I
that even
agree.
AEW was not using.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I was always still having this hope that eventually he was going to be able to come out of his shell and be the top guy. Like when he first came to AEW,
Yeah.
I got so excited because I thought this was going to be it. And then unfortunately, what we got was the Dark Order character that I just don't care for. But
Yeah.
again, I still always held on to hope that we would eventually see him break out and become like this major star.
Yeah.
And now apparently that's never going to happen.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had, I'm in the same boat with you, man. I had so much hope for him, because he being part of the Wyatt family, and then the Bludgeon Brothers and all that. And I seen some of his indie work when he was in, NWA and in other promotions. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's it's really sad. It's really sad, and uh, one of
Yeah, and I forget the name of the game, but there was a game that a lot of the guys were playing all the time on Up Up Down Down,
yeah.
and it was like this fighting game where you're trying to battle each other, and throw each other off the screen,
Oh,
and the
okay.
last one surviving wins. Huh?
It was probably on Minecraft or something.
No, no, it wasn't Minecraft. No,
Okay.
this was a game on its own,
Okay.
but I can't remember the name of it. Like I said, but oh my god, dude, this game was so funny to watch. Not because of the game itself,
Mhm.
but because you had Connor from the Ascension,
Mhm.
who also seems like he's a really cool down to earth dude. But
Yep.
you would have him. You would have some kind of times Akira Tozawa would be playing, or sometimes even Austin Creed. But the one that made this the funniest all the time was Brody Lee, because he
Yep.
would sit there like if the guys were swearing it out, he'd be like, "Stop it, my son Brody's watching," and he'd be just grunting and growling and screaming every time he's about to die. And I, I seriously recommend everybody go on Up Up Down Down and
Yeah.
check out those videos. They did a whole bunch of them too, and I always looked forward to whenever they would do new ones of this game
Yeah.
because you knew it was going to be something really good
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Definitely.
really funny to watch. And like I said, Connor added a lot of humor too.
Yeah.
And they would just be like, "Yeah, I'm dominating," and then they'd be like, "No." It's just their reactions. Like I showed a few of those videos to my nephew before even, and he had no idea what's going on, but he was laughing at the guy's reactions, going, "Aren't they grown men?" They don't seem like it. They feel like young little children the way they're reacting to it.
Right.
So yeah, I always have that memory too. I mean, like I said, I didn't know Brody personally, but I felt a connection when I would see him out of his element and being himself. I would be
Yeah.
like, this is a guy. If I did know him personally, I would get along with him.
Yeah.
You
No, no,
know,
no. I agree. I
and
agree. I'm
that's
in the
what
same
people
boat.
don't understand when they say, "Oh, well, you didn't know these guys. How can you feel bad?" Sometimes I do know them first off,
Yeah.
but when I don't, uh, I can feel like I did. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not just basing how I know them from their wrestling character because yeah, then I don't know them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys in wrestling I don't know whatsoever because I only know who they are on TV and I can't judge them.
Yeah.
But like I said, I have this other platforming to see these guys out of their element and be able to see
Exactly.
who they are.
Exactly.
And that's why, and I know where they came from because you and I both, we worked our way through the indies as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we know what that mentality is to be able to hang in there with those guys. But yeah, so wherever you are, Brody Lee, R.I.P. And I hate that we broke the news here, but
Yeah. You
when
know.
I got that news, like I said, I just had to bring that up.
Yeah. But you know what? You know
I'm
what?
sorry I cut you off. I don't remember what you were talking about
No,
now.
no,
But
it's fine, man. Don't worry about it. But you know what? You know what? To kind of bring this up on a happy note and what have you, right? You know what? With 2021 coming, it's just around the corner. You know what I mean? one of the things that I'm hoping for the best, is definitely more success for our show here at What's Going Down. I'm definitely, for at the movies, for the Josue Skits, for everything that we're doing, more success. You know what I mean? And also in our personal, in our personal lives. You know what I mean? A lot of happiness. I was, I was talking with my daughter yesterday on Christmas, and we were having a video chat. And oh my gosh, she was like so happy. She was so happy, and with this big smile. This beautiful 14-year-old girl with this beautiful smile. Say, "Merry Christmas, Daddy. I miss you. I love you." You know what I mean? I think that for me, Christmas definitely saved 2020 for me. You know what I mean? Even with this bad news, but you know, Christmas definitely saved 2020 for me. Just talking with my daughter, and really, and just having that conversation with her. You know what I mean? So, uh, and with 2021, you know what? I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people they're not, but you know what? Let's push forward. Let's push forward together to 2021, and let's keep each other in our thoughts and our prayers, right? Because you know what? We're all we got to be in this together. You know what I mean?
Okay, so the two games, there was actually two. I forgot
Okay.
about the other one too, though.
Mhm.
He was funny in those too.
Mhm.
The games that you want to check out on Up Up Down Down is called Nidhogg, which had some good ones with Harper. There's one here with Harper versus Corbin versus Tyler Breeze,
Mhm.
and the other one that, like I said, there's a whole bunch of these,
Mhm.
which featured Connor and Rusev and Aiden English and all these other guys all the time in these episodes, was called Gang Beasts
Okay.
Battle Royale.
Okay.
So those are the videos that you want to find, is the Gang Beasts and the Nidhogg episodes.
Okay.
There's more than one episode of each, and like I said, each one of these I recommend them in order, especially. But these are absolutely hilarious. There's one with Seth Rollins in
Mhm.
it as well,
Mhm.
which added a lot of humor because Seth. For those of you who watched their Madden tournaments, you know that Seth really got crazy all the time with the games and stuff. And yeah, that's why I know Cornette hates video games being mixed, but that's when the show worked. I don't even care for Up Up Down Down anymore because they haven't really been doing any cool stuff anymore like that.
Mhm.
But those were fun times to watch those. And yeah, I'll definitely be rewatching some of those Harper ones because they were entertaining and
Yeah.
they can really bring your mood up. And
Oh
now that
yeah.
he's passed, I think that's the best tribute that anybody can do to him, is to go and watch those videos and see what he brought to the table there.
Oh,
So,
definitely. Definitely.
but yeah, hopes for 2021. Like I said, we got Cobra Kai coming. I'm looking forward to that. I'm
Mhm.
hoping that movies go back to the movie theaters. We can start getting our lives back in order to have a normal life again.
Mhm.
Um, that I'm hoping to be able to have social gatherings and stuff again, be able to go to wrestling shows again. It's really been a drag to not be able to go and do anything. I still have family that I have not been able to see, friends that I have not been able to see.
Mhm.
I've got friends who I haven't seen in person since before this pandemic.
Mhm.
One of them has birthday gifts for me still that they haven't even been able to drop off to me because of all the craziness going on. And
Mhm.
I really miss seeing some of these people, so that's what I hope for.
Yep. Oh, we're
Were there
well.
any questions that we did not answer or anything that
Well,
came up in the chat?
you did answer the question of which game, and then we had somebody from on our Twitch channel. He said, "R.I.P. Brody Lee." Well, we were talking about that, so see, we got listeners and on their Twitch too.
Yeah, that's right. We are on Twitch as well. We did not promote that earlier, but we're no longer just YouTube. We have expanded our business because we have people demanding. The listeners want to be able to hear the shows every week, each and every week, right here on the What's Going Down podcast. Next week, we have not discussed our topic yet. I think because of Cobra Kai being pushed ahead,
Mhm.
um, we're not going to discuss it next week. It's going to be very tough because I know myself, I'm going to be watching it Friday and probably Saturday before we go on the podcast. So I'll
Mhm.
probably already have seen the whole season before we go on the air.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of our listeners probably have not.
Uh-huh.
And I want to avoid giving spoilers. So we may make mention quickly of just what we thought, like with a quick, either we liked it or we didn't like it. But we're not going to go into detail on it just yet. We will save that for a few weeks to try and give people a chance to catch up. So we'll probably just give a quick update on it next week
Yep.
if it was worth the wait and the hype and everything. But that's where we're going to be at on that. So we will not do that. We'll come up with something for a show. Maybe we'll get one of our special guests on the show and do a guest chat show. We'll figure it out
Mhm.
before next week. But did you have anything to add?
No, no, I'm good, brother.
All right. So, like I said, if you guys want to go and check out those episodes on Up, Up, Down, Down, there's quite a few of them. So you can get cracking on those and have yourselves a fun night listening to the brilliance of the late Brody Lee, Luke Harper, John Huber, whatever you want to call him. And for now, I'm big time Jimmy Larson. He's CT Bishop. And we'll see you next week to find out again what's going down.